Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're going inside, like way inside.
Yeah, we're talking circulation. It's like a bustling city in there. Deliveries, pickups, you name it.
It's happening right now, isn't it? Wild. But this whole system, it's not just a human thing, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Even simple creatures, think sponges, have ways to move stuff around.
Sponges. Really? Never thought of that. It makes you wonder how these systems even evolved.
That's the million-dollar question. For today, though, we're focusing on us humans.
Right. Okay. So blood. It's not just, red liquid. What's the deal with this stuff?
Blood is like a specialized delivery service. Think different vehicles, different cargoes, all vital.
Gotcha. So who are the key players in this blood city?
Well, first up, we have plasma. Think of it as the delivery trucks themselves. Over half your blood volume is this stuff.
Wow, that much. It's mostly water though, right?
Yeah, mostly. But it's also packed with proteins like fibrinogen. It's like the emergency brake ready to clot if you get a cut.
Ah, so that's how that works. What else?
Then you've got globulins. They're like bodyguards, protecting you from infections. And albumins, they make sure fluids are balanced throughout the body.
So plasma is like the infrastructure, keeping things organized and moving. But what about the actual stuff being delivered?
Those are the formed elements. And the superstars are red blood cells, or RBCs. Millions in every tiny drop of blood.
Millions. Wow. What makes them so special?
Their shape, they look like tiny donuts, which
Yeah.
maximizes surface area. That's crucial for hemoglobin, what gives blood its color.
Right. And hemoglobin carries oxygen, right?
Exactly. It's like a tiny cargo ship for oxygen. But sadly, RBCs don't last forever.
Oh, right. What happens to them?
They head to the RBC graveyard. The spleen, it breaks them down and recycles the iron. Talk about efficient.
Well, like a biological junkyard. Fascinating. Okay, so we have the delivery trucks and the oxygen superstars. What else is in the blood?
We can't forget the white blood cells, or WDCs. Our body's security force. Fewer in number than RBCs, but essential.
Right, they fight infections and stuff.
Exactly. And there are different types, each with its own speciality. Like neutrophils, they're first responders to infections.
Oh, like a SWAT team?
Kinda. Then there are macrophages. They engulf and destroy pathogens. And lymphocytes, they target specific threats.
It's like a whole army in there.
Ah.
And what about platelets?
Platelets. They're small but mighty. Imagine them as the emergency repair crew.
So like when you get a cut.
Exactly. They rush to the injury site, clump together, and release clotting factors.
So they're like tiny first aid kits.
That's a great way to put it. And this whole clotting cascade, it's like a domino effect leading to a clot.
Amazing how the body just does that.
Yeah.
So we've got all these components, but how do we make sure they're compatible?
Yeah.
Especially, for transfusions and stuff.
That's where blood types come in. A, B, and O. It's all about the antigens on those RBCs.
It's like a key fitting into a lock.
Exactly. Mismatched types can cause serious problems. That's why we have the universal donor, O, and the universal recipient, AB.
Oh, right. I remember that. But wait, isn't there also something called the RH factor?
You're right. That's another important factor. It's a protein on RBCs. And during pregnancy, if a mom is Rh negative and the baby's Rh positive,
That can cause problems, right?
yeah, it can lead to a condition called erythroblastosis fetalis. But thankfully, we have treatments to prevent that.
Phew. It's incredible how complex all this is, and it's happening inside us all the time.
Right. It really highlights how intricate and interconnected the circulatory system is. Welcome back to our circulatory adventure.
It's mind-blowing to think about all these processes happening non-stop. We left off talking about red blood cells. It's not just a simple round trip for them, right?
Nope, not at all. It's more like a carefully choreographed dance with RBCs transforming as they travel.
Transformations, I'm all ears.
Picture this. A brand new RBC leaves the bone marrow and enters the bloodstream, packed with hemoglobin, ready to deliver oxygen. First stop, the lungs.
The lungs. Refueling station, what happens there?
Inside those tiny air sacs, the alveoli, our RBC encounters a high concentration of oxygen. Hemoglobin swoops in and binds to the oxygen molecules, just like that.
So the RBC is like a little cargo ship loading up on oxygen.
Exactly. Then, full of oxygen and bright red, it travels through the arteries, those super highways of our circulatory system.
Ah, the arteries with those thick muscular walls.
You got it, built for high pressure. But eventually, those big arteries branch out into smaller vessels, ending in the capillaries.
The capillaries. So small, only one RBC can squeeze through at a time, right?
That's right. And this is where the magic happens. It's exchange time. The oxygen-rich RBC unloads its cargo to the nearby tissues.
Like a delivery truck making its rounds.
Exactly. But it's not just a one-way street. While dropping off oxygen, hemoglobin picks up carbon dioxide, the cellular waste.
So a two-way courier, delivering and picking up the trash.
Perfect analogy. Now carrying carbon dioxide, the RBC gets a bit darker and heads back to the heart through the veins.
And the veins, they have those valves, right, to prevent backflow.
You know it. Crucial for keeping things moving in the right direction. Back to the heart, then to the lungs, carbon dioxide gets expelled, and the whole cycle starts again.
It's like a perfectly synchronized dance. Speaking of intricate processes, can we dive a bit deeper into blood clotting? It's so crucial for survival.
Absolutely. Coagulation, or blood clotting, it's a cascade of events showcasing the body's amazing self-repair mechanisms, lots of players working together.
So what's the first step in this intricate dance?
Imagine you nick yourself while chopping veggies. Ouch! Those damaged blood vessels send out a distress signal.
And who comes to the rescue?
Platelets, those tiny cell fragments, remember the emergency repair crew? They rush to the injury and cling to the damaged vessel wall like little patches.
So they're the initial bandage.
You got it. But they also release chemical signals calling for backup.
They're not just patching, they're calling in the troops.
Exactly. And who answers the call? Clotting factors. These proteins are always in the plasma, but inactive. Platelet signals activate them, triggering a cascade of events.
Like a chain reaction.
Like dominoes. One clotting factor activates another, and another, ultimately leading to the formation of fibrin.
Fibrin, that's what forms the actual clot, right?
Bingo. Long, thread-like proteins weaving together, trapping blood cells and platelets.
Like weaving a net to catch all the escaping blood cells.
That's the idea. This fibrin net, reinforced by trapped cells, creates a solid plug to seal the wound and prevent further bleeding.
Amazing how this all happens so quickly and efficiently. But this cascade, it seems pretty complex. Any key players we should know about?
Well, lots of factors are involved, but calcium is a big one. It's a crucial cofactor helping those clotting factors work properly.
So calcium isn't just for strong bones. It helps stop us from bleeding out. Who knew?
Right. Just shows how important these nutrients are. Now, we've talked about the blood itself, but what about the vessels that carry it?
The blood vessels. Arteries, veins, capillaries, each with its own job.
Think of arteries as superhighways, carrying oxygen-rich blood away from the heart, with thick walls to handle the pressure.
And they're always red in those anatomy diagrams.
You got it. Veins are like scenic routes, bringing deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Thinner walls, often with those one-way valves we talked about.
And they're blue. What about capillaries? They connect the arteries and veins, right?
Exactly. The smallest blood vessels where the real action is. Their thin walls allow for oxygen, nutrients, and waste exchange between blood and tissues.
It's like a bustling marketplace with goods being traded everywhere.
Great image. A healthy network of blood vessels is essential, just like a good road system for a city. But unfortunately, things can go wrong.
Right. Just like roads can get jammed or damaged.
One common problem is atherosclerosis. That's when plaque builds up inside the arteries, restricting blood flow.
Like cholesterol gunk clogging the pipes.
Exactly. And that can lead to serious issues like heart attacks and strokes.
That's scary. Anything else?
Well, there are aneurysms. That's when a weak spot in a blood vessel wall bulges out, like a tire about to blow.
And if it bursts?
It's not good. Massive internal bleeding. Then there are blood clots, which can block vessels, leading to heart attacks, strokes, even a pulmonary embolism, where a clot travels to the lungs.
Wow. It's incredible how something so vital can also be so risky. We've covered a lot. The journey of red blood cells, blood clotting, the challenges our blood vessels face.
We've explored those bustling blood vessel highways. But there's another, more secret network, the lymphatic system. Crucial for circulation and immunity. That's where we're headed next.
Back again for more circulatory secrets. We've talked blood, the heart, those amazing blood vessels. But there's another player, right?
You got it. The lymphatic system, we've mentioned it. But this unsung hero deserves the spotlight.
Okay, spill the beans. What's the lymphatic system all about?
Imagine another network of vessels running right alongside those blood vessels. That's the lymphatic system, crucial for circulation and the immunity.
A secret network, keeping things running behind the scenes.
Exactly. It's all about balance, keeping things in check. Remember how plasma leaks out of blood vessels into tissues?
Right, into that interstitial fluid stuff.
That's it. That fluid needs a way back into circulation, and that's where the lymphatic system comes in.
So it's like a drainage system, so our tissues don't swell up.
Precisely. Tiny lymphatic capillaries, just like those in the blood vessels, absorb this excess fluid and move it along.
Okay, so where does it all go? Back to the blood.
You know it. Lymphatic vessels eventually merge into bigger ducts, which empty right back into the bloodstream near the heart. It's a continuous cycle, keeping that delicate fluid balance.
Wow, so efficient. But you said the lymphatic system is also involved in immunity. How does that work?
Well, it's not just about moving fluid around. The lymphatic system also houses a powerful defense force scattered throughout our lymph nodes, these little bean-shaped organs acting as filters.
Lymph nodes. I hear about those a lot, especially when someone's sick. What's their connection to immunity?
Think of lymph nodes as security checkpoints. Lymph flows through, and they screen it for anything suspicious.
Like tiny filters, trapping anything that doesn't belong.
It's a perfect analogy. And within these nodes, we have a variety of immune cells, including those lymphocytes we discussed before. They're like guards, constantly on the lookout for trouble.
Like a microscopic battleground, fighting off invaders.
Exactly. If there's an infection, the lymph nodes swell as immune cells multiply, launching a full-on attack. That's why you get swollen glands when you're sick. It's a sign your lymphatic system is hard at work.
So swollen glands are a good sign in a way. But what if the lymphatic system itself has problems?
Well, like any system, it can be affected by disease. One common issue is lymphedema, where lymph fluid builds up in tissues, causing swelling.
Sounds uncomfortable. What causes that?
Sometimes it's damage to lymphatic vessels, maybe from an injury or surgery. Sometimes it's a side effect of cancer treatment.
Makes sense. Any other serious problems with the lymphatic system?
There's lymphoma. It's a type of cancer that affects the lymphatic system, starting in the lymph nodes and potentially spreading.
That sounds serious. Catching it early must be important.
Absolutely. Regular checkups and being aware of any changes in your lymph nodes like swelling or tenderness can make a huge difference.
Wow, we've explored so much. Blood, the heart, those incredible blood vessels, and now the lymphatic system. It's amazing how all these systems work together, keeping us alive and kicking.
It really is a testament to the complexity and resilience of the human body. And it underscores how important it is to look after our circulatory health.
Absolutely. Healthy lifestyle, balanced diet, managing stress, these all play a role in supporting our circulation.
It's an investment in our well-being. After all, circulation is at the heart of it all.
And that brings our deep dive into human circulation to a close. We hope you've enjoyed the journey and gained a new appreciation for what's going on inside you right now. Until next time, stay curious.